But free agency has been a huge bummer for the Houston Texans. You lose one of the best wide receivers to ever play for one of the best in DeAndre Hopkins. You lose one of the best nose tackles in the NFL in DJ Reader, and it looks like you gotten worse on offense and you gotten worse on defense. But that could all be erased if Billy O'Brien decides to sign some of these free agents. Cue the intro.
The city of the dream team, Hakeem, Turing, Beyonce, yeah, man. And I remember hot summer, hot winter. I couldn't fight, so the block made a hot spill.
Hello everybody, welcome back to 713 Houston Sportcast. I'm your host, Ruben Galabi. We're still doing a giveaway for one of these lovely posters up here. Be subscribed, guys. So, there are free agents out there who I think the Houston Texans can bring in and help this team get better. You know, because right now the morale in Houston is horrible. If we weren't under quarantine, people would be at NRG protesting Bill O'Brien. So let's start off this list. You know, there's no particular order, but let's start off with Shelby Harris, defensive tackle from the Denver Broncos. 28 years old, had a 76.8 grade at Pro Football Focus. He is a nose tackle. He is fantastic against the run. He could get to the quarterback. He had 6 sacks. You know, he was a leader on that team, and Shelby Harris could change this Houston Texans defensive line. When you have J.J. Watt and you have Shelby Harris, they are going to do work because Shelby Harris, he can get to the quarterback. That's something that DJ Reader could not do. I'm not saying that a nose tackle needs to get to the quarterback, but Shelby Harris could definitely do that. And he had a forced fumble also, so he could bring the pain. You know, he's hit running backs hard. He's put QBs on the ground. He is a nasty defender, and Shelby Harris could definitely help this Houston Texans defense. Number 2, Pierre Desir, who is a very good corner, was just released yesterday by the Indianapolis Colts. A surprise release. Nobody saw this coming. He had kind of a down year. You know, he had a 59 grade. You know, he was targeted 72 times, allowed 46, and he also had 3 interceptions on the season. So people weren't afraid to go after him. And, you know, last season, the 2018 season, he was absolutely fantastic. I think he was a Pro Bowl corner. But Pierre Desir can pretty much bounce back from this, right? Because we've seen cornerbacks come to this team, Gareon Conley, Vernon Hargreaves, Bradley Roby, all just played better once they got here. We're going to have a new defensive coordinator, Anthony Weaver, and adding Pierre Desir. You know, we lost Jonathan Joseph, who was the leader in that DB locker room. He could come in and he could help lead them. You know, him and Bradley Roby could be one of the best, cornerback, tandems in the NFL. And I'm not saying Pierre Desir could be the number 1 or 2. He might even be the number 3 with Gareon Conley playing so good. This secondary will get better if you added Pierre Desir. You know, the only question is, does he want to come here and how much will you give him? But he brings that veteran leadership. He brings that ball skills. Pierre Desir will be a very good addition to this Houston Texans secondary. Number 3, Everson Griffin from the Minnesota Vikings, one of the best defensive ends in the NFL. 9 sacks on the season, 77 grade. He's very good against the run. He could get to the quarterback. People have to game plan for Everson Griffin, and you know, this signing, if we sign him, excites me the most, because if you put him on the opposite side of J.J. Watt, even the same side as J.J. Watt, he is going to be absolutely nasty. Everson Griffin has been an All-Pro. He's been a Pro Bowler. He is a dynamic player. He is up there in age, so he is a seasoned veteran. And something that the Houston Texans need right now is beef on the offensive line. People who could get to the quarterback. Everson Griffin can be a fantastic addition to the Houston Texans. He's not a long-term solution, but he is still a very high-caliber football player that could change the dynamic of this defense. Number 4, somebody who I've been wanting the Houston Texans to get for a very long time. Robby Anderson is still a free agent, guys. Wide receiver from the Jets, 52 catches, 778 yards, along with 5 touchdowns. He is somebody who I think will fit perfect with Deshaun Watson. If you overpaid for Randall Cobb like Bill O'Brien did, you could certainly overpay for Robby Anderson. Robby Anderson will change this team because he stays healthy, he catches everything, and he is a mismatch. And, you know, Will Fuller cannot be healthy. Kenny Stills last season battled injury, and Randall Cobb has battled injuries his whole career. So you're going to need a wide receiver who could play 16 games and who, defenses are going to fear, and that is Robby Anderson. Deshaun Watson with Robby Anderson can do damage. I'm not saying it's going to replace DeAndre Hopkins, but he could do things. He could easily get 1,000 yards and multiple touchdowns. Robby Anderson will be an absolutely huge addition to this Houston Texans team. And I think he's somebody that you need to go after, because the Houston Texans, they still have a window, guys, where they could contend for a Super Bowl. As long as you have Deshaun Watson, you're going to be in that playoff mix. You're going to be relevant. Get him all the weapons he needs and give him Robby Anderson. Now, the last one is Ndamukong Suh. Ndamukong Suh, one of the most dirtiest, nastiest defensive players in the NFL. 69 grade, 28 tackles, 3 sacks, fantastic against the run, can get to the quarterback. A lot of people still feel him, and if you put him on the opposite side of J.J. Watt or next to J.J. Watt, he is going to do damage. Everybody still remembers him from when he kicked Matt Schaub in the nuts, on Thanksgiving. He is a beast. People fear him. Quarterbacks fear him. And Ndamukong Suh will be a huge get for the Houston Texans. Now, I'm going to give you guys an honorable mention. Logan Ryan from the Tennessee Titans. He had a grade of a 64. He was the most targeted wide receiver in the NFL. He was targeted 114 times, and he allowed 80 catches. But he had 4 interceptions. He could come onto this team, good depth, and be a very good additional player for this Houston Texans defense. If you guys notice, 6 of the people that I noticed, 5 of them are defensive players, because I think this Houston Texans defense needs to get better. I think this offense will be fine with Tim Kelly calling the plays, and you have Deshaun Watson. So let's stack up on defense. Let's add in the draft, and let's make a push, because right now it doesn't look too good for the Houston Texans. We're being clowned by national media. We're being clowned by everybody. We're being clowned by players, and that hurts. As a fan. So let me know what you guys think, guys. Is there somebody else who you guys think who I should be looking at? As always, go Texans. You guys have a blessed day.